Now we're going to discuss a fuel regulation that for a domestic flight, it's a fuel regulation found in Part 121, Subpart U, which is a very important subpart that you'll be going through in detail while you're in the class. This one is Regulation 121.639, and it pertains to domestic operations. Essentially, there's three fuels listed directly in this regulation that are requirements for every domestic flight. A domestic flight first was going to be essentially anything within the 48 contiguous states. There are certain exceptions here and there, but generally think of a domestic flight that way. Essentially, the three fuels would be burn-off, alternate, and a reserve fuel. The burn-off or trip fuel is defined as the amount of fuel that you need to fly to the airport to which you're dispatching. The alternate fuel is essentially enough fuel to fly to and land at the alternate that you've filed, if you have filed one. There are cases where you file two alternates, and if that's the case, then you're going to have the fuel required to fly to and land at the most distant alternate. It's not a perfect regulation, and we'll explain why in the class, but that's officially the requirement. The last fuel required is a reserve. It's based on 45 minutes at normal cruise fuel consumption, and we'll have a quick way to determine that even on a manual flight plan for the aircraft that we use in the course. The fuel required for a burn-off is based on no particular speed. It's up to the air carrier to select the speed and then use it and have enough fuel to meet that criteria. If you want to fly at Mach number 0.80 or 0.81 or long-range cruise, select the speed schedule and have enough fuel to meet it. Which speed schedule should you use? We'll be discussing that in the class during performance. For you to put on a reserve fuel, the FAA does mandate a basic cruise schedule, that being normal cruise, as I mentioned before. Therefore, what that means is if you fly to your destination based on long-range cruise, maximum speed cruise, or normal cruise, it does not matter. The reserve fuel is going to be based on a normal cruise speed schedule. We'll get into the details, of course, in the class.